Hey there, LT here, and welcome back to more Let's Play Kirby Mass Attack. In the last episode, we got here to Volcano Valley, and in this episode, we're going to be continuing Volcano Valley, and by doing that, we have absolutely no lava stages to do, for some reason. All the stages we have are all spooky instead. The stage theming of the worlds in this game is kind of interesting, to say the least. It's very dynamic. It's got that going for it, at least. Anyways. I don't really have a whole ton to say. This session, I'm not entirely honestly sure how to feel right now. I kind of just want to get this game done and over with. So I've decided to play the game, and I'm going to play the game. And I think because I've kind of been, due to all my, like, admitted negativity and whatnot, I feel like, in a way, I'm actually going into this session in a bit of a, I don't know, better state of mind, I guess. Mostly in the sense of, like, I know what to expect. I know to expect some I know to expect that I'm not going to love the game, basically. Because previously, in other episodes, it's kind of had this feeling of like, oh, I love this game's amazing. I'm going to have a great time playing this game again, probably, because I remember loving it the first time, and that was really something special. And now I kind of know not to really view it in that light, I guess. So, like, I'm more prepared. I don't know. That and the fact that I'm having a hard time feeling much of anything right now. Oh, hey, that was a rainbow medal. I didn't know that those could be in the Scully missions. Good thing I've been doing them, I guess. Anyways, the gimmick of this stage in particular, since I haven't mentioned it, they're the big purple clouds of doom. And now we're gonna get to see what they do, because I accidentally ran right into one. They're called banishbacks, and they do exactly what they say on the tin. They banish you back to the very beginning of the stage, or I guess the very beginning of the room. I don't know. Point is, they're mean clouds of doom, and also you get a checklist thing if you don't get caught by any of them. So that's a goal to keep in mind if you are playing. If you are playing the game and are going for 100%, you do want to avoid these guys at all costs, otherwise they're just kind of mildly annoying, because they just bring you back to the start of the room. But yeah, on the topic of, like, level theming, it's kind of interesting how, like, a lot of the worlds in this game, all of them really, have this, like, initial theme that they go for, and then afterwards they just kind of decide, hey, let's try other things. So, like, World 1 was, like, initially, like, a grassy area, and then it kind of turned into, like, a forest cave. There was a lot of cave levels and a lot of forest levels in World 1. And World 2 started with straight up desert and had desert ruins, which kind of makes sense, but it also had, like, a lot of sky-themed levels in it as well. And then on a similar topic of that, World 3 was the most diverse in that regard. Because it started out with, like, all the resort minigames, and then kind of turned into ice, and a few other things. Kind of silly. Anyways, we're in red water right now, which drains the... It drains your air meter twice as fast, basically. So it's something to keep an eye on. It's how they make the water stages a little bit trickier now. And at least it means that the air meter has, like, some merit, relatively. Hey, metal. Yay. You can see just how fast it drains now. Oh look, more Banishbacks. I like the Banishbacks as an idea. They're basically like classic, what's it called? Wall Masters from Zelda. But they work. They work well enough. Please, keep clicking. I don't know if I'm still being chased or not, but I guess I don't really care too much about blue Kirbys. It is what it is. I could have dodged those spikes, but I didn't need to. Well. Alright. I guess the other metal's in the other direction, or it's just completely invisible, because I don't know where else it could be. Moving on. We get our next Rainbow Bridge. And cheerful music in this spooky, destroyed graveyard area. That's kind of quick. We got another question mark stage that we can't access yet. So, I guess we'll move on to stage 7. Which is Spooky Darkness. Oh, I remember this music. The funky music. So this is the stage that the black guys are from. Interesting. I didn't remember what stage these guys were actually from. There was also that one night thing from the previous stage that smashed one of my Kirbys in it. You can kind of tell which one of these is which because there's a slight curve on the one on the right here. There's a slight curve. It's not like a, it's more like a rounded rectangle compared to an actual rectangle. So you can kind of tell which one is which. That's not a thing that's smashing the ground. Okay. The night enemy thing. The only reason why I'm bringing it up is, again, it's a thing that I use in Kirby Adventure. It's fun to see some of these things in, like, their actual proper context, especially because back in the day, I completely forgot what their original contexts were. Okay. That's a big pumpkin in the background. Reminds me of Squishini. Smash, boom, dash. The only reason why I'm being so slow is because I do want the lightning to flash sometimes, just so I can, like, be absolutely sure of if I'm missing a rainbow medal or not. Because again, I do need those things to progress. You know, that is kind of a mildly another annoying thing. Sometimes a Kirby will just get stuck on something, and so they won't move with the rest of the group. And that kind of situation can also kind of screw you up, because it's like, you're expecting your Kirbys to move as a group. But then one of them doesn't, and it's like, oh, well that's annoying. I really do feel like the ultimate, like, problem I have with this game is just that idea of not really being in full control or anything. Oh, hey. There's the rainbow medal. Cool. That idea of just not being in full control. Because in a way, it does just kind of make it feel like when you run into something problematic or bad, sometimes it just feels like you can't win for no real reason other than the game decided that you can't, that you messed up. Even though it doesn't feel like you messed up, you know? In a way, it kind of reminds me of an issue people had with some of the early Pikmin games as well. And I mean, I could admit that it is a problem in, at the very least, Pikmin 1, to a lesser extent Pikmin 2, probably not so much in Pikmin 3. Yeah, I was a little bit better in Pikmin 3, and you're also not in control of your Pikmin at all in that game, interestingly enough. But in Pikmin 1, I mean, hell, they have gimmicks where, like, the Pikmin themselves can randomly trip and fail and mess you up. So, like, yeah, that is absolutely a problem, and I mean, that's why they, you know, removed it in Pikmin 2 and 3. If you want that maximum tomato, that's how you get it. But, yeah, and it is a problem, and I acknowledge that it is absolutely a problem. In even a game that I absolutely love, like Pikmin 1. But I love Pikmin 1 despite that problem. I don't know if Pikmin... I don't know if Kirby Mass Effect has the same kind of appeal to me in that regard. I don't know, I think I just kind of want a regular old platformer. Not to mention, it doesn't really feel in Pikmin like you really absolutely have to, like, avoid, like, a Pikmin dying or something like that. Like, generally when something goes wrong in Pikmin, it's either everything goes wrong and, like, you lose, like, 70 Pikmin at once or something. Or you'll lose, like, 1 or 2 and it's not really that big of a deal. Whereas this game, if it didn't have the metal requirements or some of the number of Kirby requirements, I feel like it actually wouldn't really be that big of a problem whatsoever. It's kind of interesting. Like, the fact that it suddenly wants more precision from you by, like, trying to require a certain number of Kirbys and whatnot, or not getting hit at all. So yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting topic. Like, Pikmin, the only time I can think of where Pikmin requires you that you never lose a Pikmin is in the Pikmin 2 challenge mode if you're going for pink flowers, which I guess the thing is, it's not necessarily the hardest thing to do either. Shadow boxing. Good job, Kirby. You did it. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like Kirby Master Attack only has 10 Kirbys, and Pikmin can have up to 100. So, like, the comparison is there, but I feel like Pikmin, being so much more lenient in that regard, does make it feel a lot better. Even if, you know, emotionally you may be like, oh, I don't ever want to lose any Pikmin at all, it's terrible. Like, I feel like from a gameplay standpoint, losing one or two Pikmin is not really that bad compared to losing one or two Kirbys in this game. Even if some of the principle might still be the same, and, like, you're not in direct control, and sometimes they do things that you didn't want them to do. Which, yeah, I'll admit it's a problem in Pikmin as well. I mean, there is absolutely a problem in terms of, why are you focusing on this one? Why did the camera do that? There are some weird camera quirks in this game I've noticed. I don't know exactly how great this game was to put on the DS. It might, in a way, be a bit ahead of its time in that regard. For, like, having a camera, like, keep good track of, like, all the Kirbys and, like, which ones that you actually want to try and keep track of. I don't know. It's an interesting query. Don't care about the fruit, so I'm just gonna move on. Come back here. Well, that sure happened. I'm noticing a problem sometimes when I'm trying to flick my Kirbys into enemies and stuff. And while trying to flick at them, there's this problem where, like, I guess I somehow miss a Kirby, and as a result a star appears, and because the star appears for a brief split moment, all of the Kirbys who I have had on the... Oh, we're at this gimmick again. All the Kirbys I had on, like, an enemy who I'm trying to attack and kill, suddenly... I'm just gonna check and see, because this feels like they're a possibility for a sneaky. Okay, nothing. All the Kirbys I have on an enemy will suddenly just vanish because it's like I'm trying to... And up here, just bananas. Just bananas, okay. That's the trickiest... That's another tricky thing, because sometimes you just don't know if something's just for fruit, or if there might be metals like hidden behind stuff. I remember these guys. Up. That's my impatience getting the better of me. This is kind of like a big maze area. I don't really know what to make of it. I'm just hopeful that I don't miss the rainbow medal. That's all I really care about. If I get that, then I'm satisfied, really, ultimately. Spooky ghost. Well, so much for having fire. Cool. Oh, that thing just flat out eats Kirby's. Well, now I have fire, and that's nice. Okay. Personally, I think it's a little annoying that, like, the game tutorializes you with that, and doesn't really give you any chance of, like, you know, not having that happen. I think they could have at least managed to have, like, a tutorial for that kind of creature with, like, one of these background candles. That way, you know, like, you could see, oh, hey, this guy's gonna spit out fire. If we get near it, so let's kill it before it spits out fire. You know, I think that would have worked out pretty well, actually, as a tutorial. I mean, they do love their cutscenes, so, like, That is the exact kind of annoying thing that I really get frustrated by. I flung a Kirby into the wall. He somehow missed the box and bounced off the fire thing into the cannon. Not what I wanted at all, but of course that's what happened, and watch, I'm gonna miss the medal now because of that. Well, I missed a medal, but it's not the medal, thankfully. Also, I don't have any medals yet, which is very worrisome. Like, again, I don't feel like I'm, like, not thoroughly exploring things. I'm looking around everywhere, so it's like... Let's not actually do that, because I think we're supposed to let one of these guys do that. Yeah. Yeah, see? There we go. Now I don't care about anything. Yeah, we missed a lot of medals. Jeez, where were the other two? Because, like, we saw where the third one was, but where were the other... I don't know. Whatever. What do we got? I feel like this level probably would have been very frustrating to go back and do without taking damage. Where was the last medal? I don't understand the medal requirements, but at least I got the only one that mattered. The only one that mattered. The one I got. Alright. Stage 5 now. Let's go. And now we got more zombie bean bombs. I don't remember the gimmick with these guys, if there even is one. Apparently they like drop melons, but oh well. Alright, we got our 10th Kirby back. It seems like their gimmick might be that they just keep respawning. Hey, wasn't I just mentioning this in like an earlier episode? I wanted actual Scullies in actual parts of the world, and now we have them. It's about time. I feel like I remember there being other graves to push. Is that correct? There's a big key. I was expecting like a cutscene to occur, but nothing happened. I just got the key. Well, clearly there's not other graves to push, so let's go down the hole. See what's down here. Water. Alright. Oh hey, one of these guys. I'm just gonna ignore the Kirby that's on fire. It doesn't really matter, and I think he just gets put out anyway. Yeah, there we go. Okay. That's just mostly just a little silly bonus area. So we come back over here, we still have our big giant key, and I don't really know what it's for, but I'm gonna assume something important. Boing. Now we do know that we can't, if a Kirby dies with a key, that's it. The key's gone forever. So we do need to keep this one Kirby careful. Good job picking up the key, Kirby's. Good job. You just left it behind. Alright, Scully section. We still got our big key, so... There we go. Metal acquisition. Alright, we got 2. That's good. Spraying. Because I don't know if this key is going to unlock a rainbow medal, I'm just trying to take this a little bit more cautiously than I might normally. Which honestly is something I probably should have been doing from the beginning with this game, is trying to be a little more cautious. I don't know. I definitely think some of my issues have come from just being incredibly impatient. Oh hey, lava's back. It's gonna start rising or something? I feel like that's what the Magma Flows music is kind of like giving me the vibe of, is that this is a big chase race thing. Oh, yep, there we go. Look, Sorars, the only golden thing that you could be carrying right now that I care about is something that's golden and also rainbow. The ones on the right side, once again, I can't really see very well because of my hands being in the way. Oh, it's a beam bomb thing. Gordo. This is like a deadly version of the stage in Kirby Yarn. Evergreen Lift. Well, I did my best to stop that, but I couldn't get the Kirbys out of the way in time. So, gonna hope that that key did not unlock the rainbow medal. Well, here's a regular medal, which is not a thing that I approve of. Because that makes me more scared, because that big key, if that's the rainbow medal, then I'm gonna have to do this whole stage over again, just because of one stupid Gordo. And that's not very fun, you know? Now, was that my mistake? I mean, in that context, I guess I don't necessarily know exactly, because, like, I don't know, knowing that the Gordo is coming, like, I feel like I reacted as quickly as I could, and I don't know. Well, okay, let's not have that happen. Here's the moment of truth. Please be rainbow. Fine, be that way. This is why this game's not fun. Why did you jump there? I don't understand the Kirbys in this game. I stopped moving, I stopped tapping, and they all just jump anyway, right into this goddamn spikes that I was trying to avoid. I hate this game. It wouldn't be so bad if I could just have any easier way of also just restarting. But no, of course, I gotta restart the entire stage over again. Just because of one thing. Whatever. I've been recording for 35 minutes, so I'll probably end the episode here and do the next few things in the next episode. See you guys then. Honestly, this game just disappoints me now, more than anything else.